you're the best friend for yourself. In the end of the day, I'm the best friend of myself. So I believe everyone is the best friend because you're spending time the most with yourself. So know yourself better. When somebody giving you feedback or something, first check in with yourself. Everyone has their own opinion or something to say. Respect it, appreciate it, and let it go. When it's not for you, just let it go.
Financial independence,
freedom,
financial picture,
independent financially,
financial future,
financial freedom and wealth,
financial independence.
Get your fill, financial independence and long life. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Get Your Fill, Financial Independence and Long Life, where we explore ways to achieve those two goals. And today we have a really cool person on with us. I always ask people, how do they want to be introduced? And you probably noticed that most people give me like a paragraph and a half. But Aisha said she wants to be introduced as being as inspiring, passionate, and beautiful. And I know you will find her to be all of those things and more, all those things and more. So Aisha, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm excited to hear all about your life and your story and all your adventures.
Thank you for having me, Christine. I'm very honored actually to be on your podcast.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored to have you here. So I'm really interested in your life. I know you've had a lot of sort of iterations of yourself where you've said, okay, I'm doing this. Well, you know what, now I'm going to do this. And like, oh, okay, that wasn't fun. I'm going to do this. So do you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing like right now? Like what's getting you excited and fired up right now in your life?
Right now, I just moved. It's my second month in Lisbon. I just moved back to Europe. I was traveling and kind of like deciding where I want to settle. First, I was thinking Italy, and after I was thinking maybe Norway, because I was living many years in Norway, and I didn't feel like to come back to Norway. I was staying there for like a month, and after I was staying for like a month in Italy. And France, I was thinking maybe like a move to Paris. I was staying there for like 2 weeks. And eventually I said like, no, it's better come back to Lisbon and stay here because it's sunny, it's beautiful. It's like food is so good. The wine is so good. The people are so good. So I'm like, I love it here. So right now I'm kind of slowly settling down. I want to start to sail more because that's my next kind of big journey. I want to get more hours on sailing. I want to do my solo exhibition, and I haven't done any like a solo exhibition. And this is like a time for me to start to work for myself, like more like focusing on myself, because normally I'm helping others, and I'm inspire others, doing things for others. And now this year 2025 I decided I will focusing on myself and my own things that I would like to create next. And I would like to be way more aware and intentional what I want to do for 2025. I feel it's my year where I'm going to create my own success, like the way I see it, and share it with people the way I see it. Because all these years, I felt I was doing something not just for myself. I was doing kind of like for others, and like feeling I'm not fully fulfilling myself. I'm like a people pleaser, and I feel like it's good to please myself, like learning how to please others and also like pleasing myself, kind of find it's like a harmony within. And that's my intention next year, of like creating more harmony within, spending more time, me, myself, and I. And that's what's happening already naturally. And this year was a lot of like a long time traveling a lot. I was traveling so many places this year, trying to figuring out where I fit in, which country. And I was traveling in Asia, I was thinking maybe Dubai would be for me. And eventually I'm, arrived to Lisbon, and I feel like this is my place to be. It's been not easy to organize myself. And I feel the struggle is that's to understand what I want to do while I'm here, what I want to do like while I'm here, living here, not just doing just for myself, also like creating something for the community, do something for community. And that's my like a next question, what I would do for the community, how I want to contribute to the community, because I want to live in Lisbon at least like I want to do Lisbon my base at least for next 5 to 10 years, like long term. And I want to do something for community because I feel like it's very good to create something and do something good for the community by being here, by being, you know, part of the community. Because many years ago when I was living in Lisbon, I created my, you know, my property management and had a community. And it was many different things I was doing for like living in Portugal and Lisbon for 4 years before I moved to America. So yeah, it's improvements, beautiful improvements.
So tell us about the creative process of your art. What style of art do you create, and sort of how do you get your ideas, and anything that you want to talk about your artwork?
When I started to create, it was just a hobby. Like for me, in the beginning, it was just a hobby, and I have very interesting way of creating. I have my own style from the beginning, and I never compare myself to any other artist. I never look up for the other artist, because I feel like we are our own creators and we get to kind of go within to create what we feel to create. Sometimes I'm creating like a pictures, you know, I have like a whole like a portrait. So like sometimes I'm creating like just abstract. And my whole art is like the triangles and dots. And I connected it to the energy, spirituality, to the cosmic energy, and you know, universe. And I feel like it's all we're all connected through the dots and like dots and triangles, because I'm a dot, you're dot, and we're right now we like have the point of connection. And I feel like internet, I look at this as more like an internet, as a net of my art. And my art is like a new way of like a new earth, like a more colorful, more beautiful, more joyful. And my art is like about to bring a next level, or like a vibrate at the next level, like raise the vibration of humanity. I would like to create more beautiful things for the world, and I would love to like people can see my art and be inspired and feel way more joyful and happier within themselves every time they watch and look at my art. They can feel that. And that's what my intention of when I'm creating. The way I'm creating just happening naturally. Sometimes I'm feeling like I can create for 6 hours. Sometimes I'm just creating maybe for like 2 hours. I don't look at myself only like an artist. I don't spend in the studio like hours and hours and hours. I feel I'm like everything. Today I feel like maybe like be in a park and spend more time in the nature and just being by the ocean. Tomorrow i'm all I'm all about feelings, and I'm all about like just being in the moment to feel what I feel. And right now I'm spending a lot of time alone, and I feel like that is good. I also create some of my new artworks, and I started to write. I'm finishing my new book, and I feel like everything is kind of like I'm doing everything and the same time anything, you know. And it's like when I accomplish some things a day, I'm very happy about that. I don't anymore like pushing myself like hard like I was doing before. This year was about to be gentle, more gentle within myself, because by publishing my book this year, for example, one thing's happened. I understood how much impatient I am and how much harder I am on myself. Like every time I want to do like a perfect things and more perfect, and I'm pushing and pushing and pushing, and it hurts me. In the end, it hurts me first, and I decided like I started to observe myself better and said, why I'm doing it to myself? And I learned that because I'm like, because of my childhood traumas, like it's never enough, you know, you're never enough or something like that. And I started to practice new mantra, I'm enough. And I'm started to practice way more mantras and meditation, like I'm enough, and whatever I do, it's enough. It's not about like doing 100 pieces. It's about creating what I feel like to create. And sometimes I can create like many pieces a day, you know. I feel like everything in life, now I'm coming to the point in my life when everything in life, it's about beingness. like just be. I'm already enough just being here. I'm already winner just by being here. I'm already successful just being here in the planet Earth and having any experiencing I have right now and accept them and enjoy them. And more I'm learning about that, I feel like I'm feeling way more joyful within and feeling way more happier within, acceptance within, and smile just was no reason. Seeing people just the way they are and not being angry or not be frustrated, not being, like learning just how to be joyful and vibrate in a completely different frequency. That was amazing learning of this year, vibrate and joyful frequency, and it was great experience.
How did you come to have your work on SpaceX?
Well, it was one of my dreams. I was working 2020 when the COVID hit. I just moved to Miami, and many things happened. I was like it was scary. And what happened is I started to work with kids, and kids give me different ideas and different kind of dreams, and we talk and we brainstorm. I love to work with kids because they're always giving like crazy ideas and crazy kind of like way of thinking, very creative. There's no like limitation, and I love it because I feel we adults don't have it, and we're forgetting. We do have it, we forget this. And what happened is I came with this idea to send my art to the space. So I created artworks. I sent my artwork to Elon Musk, to Jeff Bezos, and to Richard Branson, to the offices. And I asked Elon Musk to send my art to the space. I asked Richard Branson to paint his rocket with my art. And I asked Jeff Bezos to send me to the space to do my triangles to my art. And a space. And year after that, 2022, I did it in January 2021. I sent it everything to them. And 2022, I received my friend, she sent me a message, and I received like application that because of the 50 years of Pioneer 10, 50 years ago, they sent one artwork to the space engraved in gold with NASA, and this year it was 50 years like a anniversary. So they decided to choose 50 artworks from around the world from different artists. So they choose 2 of my artworks, and I mean, they would probably choose more, but the thing is I just sent 3 of artworks and they choose 2 of them. I'm very grateful for that. And so it's engraved in golden plates, and it's flying somewhere in the space. But of course, the whole journey around that, the whole pain and everything was completely different, because in that moment of my life, I was very successful as an artist. I was in my mind, I was very successful because I was living in my van. I had this dream, I'm living in my van and traveling around Florida. And so I got a van, I was traveling in the van, selling my art. It was so easy. It was super easy to do that, to sell my art, my prints, and I felt like I'm so happy and satisfied with the money I was making, with the life I was living. I can wake up every morning next to the ocean or in the mountains or like somewhere in a national park. So I love that experience itself. I really enjoy to be like by the beach, or enjoy to be in a nature. And I understand that moment of my life, I isolated myself too much. Even so, I didn't understand that. Like I was feeling like I'm with people and I'm still like very by myself. I don't like the word alone. I like to say by myself. So, and one day I was working that time for the crypto community, and after one of the events, my van was broken in, and everything was stolen from me. So I get to kind of like be vulnerable to ask for support. And that moment I was more connected to the hippie community. So of course I asked for support of the hippie community, and I started to live in the community and, get to recover. It took me a time to recover. In this opportunity arrived to send my art to the space with no tools, with nothing. I had to be so creative to kind of like create these things and, go through the interview, apply and all of that with no like phones. I get to ask for everything, absolutely everything in that moment. And it made me so embarrassing because I never ever in my life been in that space of having nothing. Like, I mean, I came from nothing, absolutely nothing, and I get to kind of like reinvent myself so many times. So this time I was like, but I never had this moment of my life when I lost all my documents, all my bank cards, all money, all phones, laptops, absolutely everything, you know, like was gone. And my van was completely broken. I was so scared. And like I was sitting there with nothing, and I'm feeling like that's the first time in my adult life when I have this experience, because every time I have like a plan, so I have a backup, I have this and this. And this time I didn't have it. I didn't have backup. I didn't have the kind of like, I was too kind of, I would say, maybe some in some way like arrogant, because I'm feeling like it's everything is fine. I will be fine. I'm like, I was so healthy, happy, humble, and at the same time I was very lonely, you know, like so independent in my own bubble. So I didn't need other people for anything. I would, you know, manage everything by myself. When this happened and I get to reinvent myself again, it took me such a long time to do that. And when this opportunity arrived about my dream, I took it. And many people would say, like, my friends, after a while, my artist friends was asking me, how did you get this opportunity? And I said, it's my dream. It was connected to my dream. And I was sharing with all my friends to apply, and nobody did it. And I was saying to them, you didn't apply because it was not connected to your dream. That's why. If it would connect it to your dream, you would do that as well. So for me, like every opportunity when I have in my life, I I think if it's connected to my dream, to what I want to achieve in this lifetime, and when my answer is yes, I just go and do it. And I don't have in my mind, I don't have like this idea of like yes or no. I don't have expectation. I'm just doing it because it's connected to my dream. That's it. And this is how this happened. And I felt like that's incredible experience because all the dreams are real. You get to be just continue to live your life, enjoying it, appreciating it, and the dreams or like the opportunities will unfold itself in natural speed and natural way. That's what I trust on, and this is what's happening at least in my life. Of course, you get to create this opportunity time to time, and at the same time be patient and joyful and happy, just vibrate in very different frequency of love and joy and peace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about your time being when you started your boutique hotel in Portugal. It's fun to me to think about, well, you're an artist and you're creating art, and then you said, oh, you know what? I think I want to do a boutique hotel. So tell me about that thought process and, what drew you to that idea and kind of how that all went.
Well, I was living in Norway that time. I was working as engineer, and I have an engineering degree. And because again, I did something not what I wanted, what people needed in that moment of my life. And when I arrived to Lisbon, of course, I travel again. I was for in that moment of my life, I was looking for the place to live. In that moment of my life, I was thinking to live in south of France, south of Italy, and south of Spain. And Portugal was not on my list. I just discovered it like randomly. And when I arrived to Portugal, the first things I decided to do is real estate. And I also was talking about this community. I have this idea of life school, like how everyone is going to be happy and joyful, and like a new way of community living, family, where we like supporting each other with our dreams and was everything. And I started to do that, and at the same time I was developing my skills in the real estate. And community didn't
Why real estate? So what made you decide, okay, I'm going to do real estate? Because that's
when I
not
arrived
what
to
you were doing in
Lisbon, I
Norway,
was
right?
like,
So
yeah, when I arrived to Lisbon, I would just look around, and I said to myself, I want to do real estate. I don't know. I just thought it. And I was like, I want to do real estate. How it is. I don't have, and like, I did a little bit of not real estate, but I was kind of like renting a properties in Russia a little bit, like a hustle side. And I was just having a little bit like kind of knowledge how it works. I said like, oh, it's probably the same as in Russia. And I got like my license, I got to go through the school, and everything was in Portuguese, but they let me to do it a little bit in English. So it was like a whole, of course, not easy experience. In the same time, I overcome it, I made it, and I started to work for the internationals, and like I do like luxury market. And after I meet the guy, and he said to me, "Oh, what about we can create it like a Airbnb or like working?" We started to do like short-term renting, and I was like, "Why not? Let's try it." So it's like we started to get into that so fast. I mean, people will just like say yes to me, and they're just giving me keys, and so like, okay, here are the keys, go and do it, and I was telling them what to buy, what to do, and like how I want to set up, like just explaining them and everything in English. And they were doing it, and after we started to kind of renting it slowly to the tourists, and slowly it's become like a boutique hotel, because my partner at that time and his family and his friends own several properties in one buildings. So we decided to create like a boutique hotel of 10 rooms. And it was very beautiful. We designed everything. We made everything beautiful. We renovated everything. It was a lot of frustration, a lot of course, work, a lot of sweat and crying, and because it's not deadline, they're saying to you they're going to deliver on time. It's never on time. And that's what also learned, like it's never on time. It's like a lot of work, and so you get to do a lot of work by yourself as well. And so like what happened is, when we started to kind of like doing our boutique hotel, was very successful, and we started to manage other people's properties as well on the side. Many people asking us to manage their properties, and I felt in that moment of my life it was too much, because I was doing property management, I was doing real estate, I was doing also like entrepreneurial like workshops and helping entrepreneurs with the startuppers, and I was doing a lot of network events as well, and I have a relationship as well, like it was too much. So after 2 or 3 years, I think almost like 3 years, I burned out completely, because I realized I'm doing it not for money. I was doing it for money, not for like my passion. It was not like my passion was people, not like this type of the business where you get to be 24/7 all the time available and not sleeping almost. I was like playing with the phones, with 2 phones all the time. I got crazy after a while. It was too much of like something is happening every time, and somebody is like doing like it's many things happening, like. And I felt after a while, I feel like, oh my gosh, I never ever would think that it can be like so not easy. That's why I understand why old people do that, because it's okay for them. But for young people, when we started to serve breakfast, when we started to do like a lot of other things, that like we started to bring people from the airport, we started to do the tours, showing them Portugal, like Lisbon around. I started to do Lisbon party tours. It's like it was a lot of things, and I was great with the money and everything. And at the same time, I didn't have time for myself. I didn't have time for traveling. I didn't have time to actually understand why I'm doing it, and like I was just doing it because that's what was needed in that moment. And it was like, it was so easy to do it. And it's so much, so many people, like so many tourists, and like it was like a big demand on this. And after 3 years, I felt like I get to do something different. Many things, also happened because my partner wanted to grow the business until thousands of apartments. And I was feeling like, oh my gosh, thousands of apartments. We get to grow the team, we get to grow the, everything. And I was telling him that moment of my life, I was telling him, you know what? We get to focus on a team first. 1,000 apartments is easy to get. Look, like many people just giving us a keys. It's super easy. We get to work on trust and working on the right teamwork. We got in disagreement. We started to fight a lot, and it's also like kind of like influenced my health and other things. I suppose you in your 20s, you don't understand so much about that. You don't like think about mindfulness, spirituality, and you're just thinking about like money and what you can do with the money, like travel. It's about just partying, having fun. I feel like that moment of my life when I started to realize that slowly I started to realize that I was doing it not for myself, not for my passion. I was just doing it because money. And I started to ask myself, what is my passion? What is my things? And that's how I discover, that I'm an artist, and I went towards that journey. And now I don't want to change anything. And I came to the point of my life that I was an engineer, and after being a businesswoman, and now I'm just artist. And I call myself like artist, entrepreneur, author, because I also write the books, and I will write more books. I'm just feeling it's kind of the discovery. We're moving when we open enough. We're moving towards our own discovery, who we really are, creative human beings. And this is what I learned about myself. I'm a creative human being. I'm always very creative. I'm always fine, and I'm a solution oriented. In that experience, I learned from my business experience. I learned like by building the business, you're getting into politics, you're getting into like different scale, understand like if you want to scale, why you want to scale. You're learning so many things on the way by creating it or by building it. And it's a lot of work, especially when you're young. And you get to be very like focused and disciplined, and really want to do that, really want to like move towards that, really want to make that money. Because in the end of the day, it was not about money, it was about relationship and why you're doing it, why you want to grow towards this 1,000 apartments. And I couldn't find the reason why I want to go to this 1,000 apartments just because making millions for what? And like, I'm already like rich enough. I was telling to my partners, like, we already have enough money to travel, we have already money to do whatever we want. Why do we need more money? And I was asking them questions. They said, I want to make 100 millions. I want to make, and everyone was want to make this millions. And I'm like, why do you want to have these millions? I don't understand you. Like, we already live, I said to them, we're already privileged. We're living in Europe. We can travel anywhere we want. We can have vacation whenever we want. We are so like flexible and so free in so many ways. And they didn't see that. And that's was our generation of millenniums. We like want always this money for what? And that's was my kind of like questions. I'm like, I'm rich already. I mean, if I want to right now go to Asia and live in Asia, I can do it. I don't need to make millions of dollars to like go to live in Asia for 6 months or 3 years, whatever I want. It's easy, and it's super easy. And like America's a little bit different. And I still believe it's easy when you just decided, you're just making the plan and just moving towards that. You don't need, it's just experience. You need the experience. And I'm very grateful for the experience to run after the million, because when we started to build a business, I realized after 3 years, our first year is going to be million. And if we're going to continue to grow, we will work towards more millions. But it's a lot of, and that's what I was telling to the people. It takes, when you started to do business and you're building your business, it's very good to focus on team first. Don't think about money. Think about people you're working with and building their dream together. That's why you get to have a great team and in your like with you, who is going to bring you to the next level if it's something that for you. And it takes to make your first million, if you're building from scratch and spending your own money, like you're investing 100,000 to something like that, and your time, of course, it takes you about 5 years, between 3 to 5 years, to build your own business. I'm talking about building the business. Sometimes it takes less time, sometimes longer time. It depends on the business. In my case, it was like about 5 years. You can build your first business, first million, and revenue and everything. If we can have a great team in that moment of our life, we could easily grow until 10 millions in 5 years. The thing is, my team who was with me, the people who was with me in that moment, they didn't trust, they didn't understand the value of the team, the value of the people. They want to do everything by themselves. And by doing by yourself, it's also great. You're learning a lot by yourself. The thing is, you exhausted yourself. And if and in the end, everyone is just getting distracted, especially what I learned about young entrepreneurs or young men. When they started to get a lot of money, they're getting more and more distracted, and they don't focusing anymore on their growth. They're focusing on just fucking around, going like doing the things that it doesn't at all connected to the business. And every time when you're communicating with them, they say to you, oh, what's your problem? You're just woman, you know? And that's in business as well. It's very male dominant. So every time when woman has a voice to say something, it's not easy to that men can accept your voice and actually like following your what you're saying to them. They are way more like ego driven. So for them, when they started to make more money, they acting completely different. They started to act different. They started to behave different. They started to do some different things towards you, like as a woman, and act, like treating you not nice either. And that's what I learned. Like I started to learn because I understood I'm just only one woman. I mean, it's very few women in the market who is doing these things, mostly men. And every time when I, as a businesswoman, coming to the room and I'm a beautiful woman, you know, everyone is like kind of want me and say to me, oh, you know, my team is better. You get to move with us. You get to do this with us. We can pay you better. We can like, you're meeting a lot of like all these different games. And when you're in your 20, you don't understand so much about all these games. You're learning it later in your life. This is what, at least in my life. And I'm just feeling like business is not easy to create, to build. It's not for everyone. It's a lot of harsh environment where everyone is just kind of like fighting who is better, who is best, who is like something like that. And I don't like it. I felt like I was doing something that I was not made for. I get to fight with other men all the time. I get to kind of like showing my strengths and be this brutal woman and like kind of like big boss, you know, and they call me names. And it was a lot of, I would say, threat in some ways. And I get to face it. And I'm grateful that I did it. And reality, it's amazing experience. And I don't regret for anything. I'm just feeling like I would do a little bit different. I would probably push men a little bit more towards the wall that I didn't do that time. Now I'm like slowly, or I would probably like work a little bit different, more like have a strategy, not like just being direct as I am. I'll have like a strategy and like, okay, we can do like this and we can do like this. So I would get better results because I'm so direct and I don't have like these ideas of make a long-term strategies. I'm like, we're doing this and I'm doing myself. And I learned that people who doesn't want you to succeed, they don't want to support you. They're pretending to support you. And after they just looking at you like you're falling and they just like want to laugh at you, say like, I knew that it's going to happen like that, something like that. So and COVID hit, you know, as well. That's what's also influenced a lot of things in the reality. And me leaving the company and, you know, like going to the court, we started to go through the court as well because everyone has a different disagreements. So it was like I was being in the court for 9 months, and I said to myself, you know what, I don't want to do that anymore because it takes a lot of, like I started to interview other people like who has the same issues or the same kind of cases, and I'm like, I don't want to spend 5 or 9 years or 12 years of my life just fighting over some money here. I'm better to build something else. I mean, I'm going to do something different. I've just kind of let it go. And when I let it go, I feel like that was a great experience. And because when I left, the company fall. And I was telling them, you know, I'm leaving right now. The company will not functioning even like a maximum a year. And it happened. Company without me just fall apart. And everyone just, you know, just keep what they had, you know, their own properties, and you just managing their own things. They don't have any more management company. They don't have any more like like the people that helping him and anything, because everything was holding on me. I was who is like managing all relationship every time, like doing everything for everyone and helping, like navigating and communicating and managing and doing all the work, and people didn't appreciate it. And I felt like every time when I'm communicating with them about something, they were like, oh, you're just woman, like go away. That was like kind of like painful moment, understanding that in a business, especially like in the traditional countries where women have their place in the kitchen, this is what they used to say. In America, it's different, women are way more. In Norway, it's different, in Portugal, it's different. It's still like old school. It's changing slowly, and it's still like this. So that's general my experience of that property management company, and the way I organize it or manage it. I learned so much, and at the same time, what you ask me to do again, yes, I would do again, just in a different way. And I'm still actually thinking about to do that again, just in a different way next year. But I'm just thinking. My friend said to me, "Don't do that again. It's fine. Just move to something different." I like it. It was a lot of fun because I was working with a lot of different people. We did a lot of tours. I got clients who bought apartments as well. So it was many cool things as well. It's not just like this fighting in the end about money or whatever. It's normal. That's what I also learned in a business. It's normal that after some years you're fighting with your partners and you're just fighting over something. And because you disagree, you're growing up from that as well. And I'm grateful for as well. And I still friends with them. With some of them.
Yeah, when you have partners, it's so important to have everybody on the same page with the same goals, and everybody's, understanding what you're all working toward. And, if everybody isn't upfront in the beginning to talk about what those goals are, then it can be tough, for sure.
It can be tough, exactly. That's what I know. I mean, what you do when you're 25? You're just starting your life. I mean, you're thinking like you're like, I don't know.
You know everything, but you don't have any idea. Yeah. So tell us about the book. What's the book about?
Well, the book came out in 2022 as well, end of the 22, after my experience of sending art to I sent my art to the space, and I learned that all my dreams is true. So I want to helping people to focusing on the things that's small things that matters, and that create joy. For example, like walking like you're walking by yourself, or journaling or meditation or mantras or chanting. And in my book, I'm just sharing different experiences that I have myself that helps me to be who I am today by living. I'm thinking by living example, and I'm feeling like when I created the book, I created my art, and I have my art in it, and I have some suggestions how you can live a joyful life. And it's just ideas that everyone. It's just like I call it like a creative thinking or creative process of being a joyful human being, what it is to be a joyful human being. And when you're joyful, you're vibrating in a completely different vibration. I feel like we're always solution oriented, actually, when we open towards that. And every time when we have a situation, and I don't look at the like a conflict, sorry, I don't look at the conflict or something. I look at this as a situation, and we don't have a good experience or bad experience. We have experience. So for me, like, okay, we have a situation here, how we can solve it. For example, I'm just every time I'm saying to the people, we just have a situation. It's not a good situation, a bad situation, that's a conflict. It's just a situation where they just disagree about something, and we have opportunity to find out why we disagree, because of our background, because of what. And that's in my book about as well. Like, I'm just giving people different ideas of thinking for themselves what it is to be joyful.
Excellent. That's great. So tell us, so it's been, our time's just flying away here, but tell people how they can get in touch with you if they want to continue the conversation, if they want to buy the book. What's the best way for people to connect with you?
People can find my book on Amazon, Joyful Living Guidebook. It's on Amazon right now. And to connect with me, you can connect with me by my via my website, Aisha.today. It's AISHA.today, where you can book time with me. I also have a mentorship lessons where I can mentor people how to live their dream life, how to achieve their better goal, like how to achieve some results or how to be joyful. I have like a 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months program, one-on-one sessions. And I also open to be a speaker for the different events, conferences and summits. You also can book me as a speaker. Yeah, I don't use so much social media. I feel like social media is great. And at the same time, I'm feeling it just too much. I would like people connect more directly or personally. I like more like personal connection. And when people like really want to learn something, they're coming naturally. All my students that I'm having right now, they're coming naturally to me. It's kind of like happen in a natural way. So I trust to that way, that way, natural way.
Excellent. All right, great. Excellent. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. Thanks for telling us your story and connecting and, sharing all of the cool things that you've learned throughout your life. And thank you, listener, for listening. I'm sure that you've been inspired by Aisha's words and by her great energy and fun passion. And maybe you want to make a little change in your life. And you can give her a call or reach out to her, and maybe she can help you to point you in the right direction. And make sure you join us next week and see what we have in store for you then. Do you want to say anything in parting? Is there anything that you wish I would have asked you, Aisha, that I haven't asked you?
I would like to just share that absolutely anything is possible. Believe in yourself, trust in your journey, trust that you're enough and more than enough, and always go for it. When you know that you feel that it's for you, go for it. Believe in yourself. That's, you're the best friend for yourself. In the end of the day, I'm the best friend of myself. So I believe everyone is the best friend because you're spending time the most with yourself. So know yourself better. When somebody giving you feedback or something, first check in with yourself. Do you need this feedback? Do you need this opinion? Because don't take anything personally because nothing is about you. Everyone has their own opinion or something to say from their own perspective, from their own filter of life. Just trust it, respect it, appreciate it, and let it go. When it's not for you, just let it go. Don't take it in. Thank you.
That's excellent advice. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Joyful living. Namaste.
Namaste.